Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell. We have a great weekend of sports to break down tonight. It's a Monday, so as always, our favorite guest, Jason Cameron's joining us. Hey, buddy. Hope you had a great weekend. Lots of fun sports to break down, and I'm sure lots of other things that you got into. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. I had a fantastic weekend. I am looking forward to digging in on the sports, the recap from this weekend, and I'm excited.
Nice.
Lots of stuff going on, a lot of NFL stuff. So, shall we begin?
Let's do it. Yeah. Biggest story of the weekend. The GOAT left the farm and he's made it back to the NFL. Tom Brady decided he's had enough of retirement, doesn't want to golf, doesn't want to hang out in Florida, wants no part of his family, wants to just play football for the rest of his life. So he's back. What do you think?
This is what I think. Why must he torture me? Why must he keep just thumbing his nose at me? I was happy. I was in a good place, a real good place where I was just like, I go to bed and I was like, no more Tom Brady. Oh my goodness. Oh, this just feels so good. Feels so like I had great sleeps. And now I don't have great sleeps. Now I have to endure this man to say, as he is probably coming back with a vengeance, because he probably feels slighted that he didn't win the MVP. So now he's coming back saying, I guess I still got stuff to prove. No, Tom, you've got nothing left to prove. But in his mind, he's just like, well, gonna have to win an eighth. Gotta really put it away. I gotta really salt this away. I gotta show people that, yeah, I'm the GOAT, I'm the best. And every record that I have, I'm just gonna put that much farther out of reach. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. He's torturing all the people that he has for the last 22 years. This will be his 23rd season coming up. I imagine that Bruce Arians was doing a dance when he heard that. Do you think most of the Patriots were doing quite the celebration dance?
Well, I think a lot of the Patriots are just like, oh, would you look at that? He came back. He came back. And also, too, here's the thing that people forget. It's like, well, okay, so he's back, but how long is he back for? Like, is he just going to retire again? Or is he going to terrorize the league for a couple more years? Yeah. Like this might not just be 1 year. It might be a couple years of Tom Brady terror. I'm going to call it Brady terror.
It's insane. It's unbelievable. He has every record. I don't know. I don't think that it might set the record for the shortest retirement ever, but man, he just wants the record book to be completely his own. But he definitely seemed to shut up a lot of the haters when he went to Tampa Bay. A lot of people started forgiving him, saying, he's an old man. He's still doing well. He's not in the Patriots organization anymore. And he's doing pretty good in Tampa Bay. And I actually heard people that didn't like him actually turn to start liking him. But do you think he runs the risk of getting all those haters back and a lot of people really not enjoying him unretiring?
Well, you know what? Like, I'm going to say it like this. I think fans of Tom Brady are always going to love the fact that Tom Brady is playing the game. Fans that are not Tom Brady fans, like myself, because of what he did to the Atlanta Falcons, I still can't forgive him, and I never will, are just like, he's terrorizing me. He's terrorized me for years, for his whole career. And now that when I thought he was not, he's going to hang him up, going to hang up his golden cleats and never come back to the sport. But then he lied to me. He lied to all of us. He lied to all of us that here I am. I'm thinking, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for his retirement. Like I cracked the beer too. I was just like, yeah, here you go, Tom. Happy trails, buddy. And then I had to take it all back. So you're gonna have people on both extremes, on both sides of the fence. People are gonna be happy, and people are gonna be super pissed. Yeah. And as for myself, I'm on the side that is not happy. I am not happy that Tom Brady has come back. I wish he hadn't have come back, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's his choice.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it was definitely was the biggest story of the weekend with all the sports going on. He was, he decided this was the time. It was kind of smart timing on his part because today is the official start of the next season and free agent frenzy today. So many deals handed out. I think we're looking at close to $1 billion that was handed out today to free agents around the league, guys that will sign with their initial teams and guys that are signing elsewhere. I just can't believe how many moves were made today and the money that was thrown out. It's just getting unbelievable these days.
Yeah. How about this? It's a reflection of where the league is at, that it's probably its most profitable that it's ever been. The revenue that it's continues to keep taking in is, it's a lot. It's astronomical. Yeah. And the fact that the players are beginning to benefit from that, that's a good thing. It's a great thing. True. Everybody's making money. So that's good. I think that's great to see. And it's great to see that these guys are able to make sure that they have a significant nest egg once they finish playing the sport.
Yeah. When I saw early the first free agent dealings that were coming across, it seemed like it was all linemen. And then some of the other bigger names started going. I think the biggest contract handed out today was to J.C. Jackson. He leaves the Patriots, goes to the Chargers. The cornerback gets 5 years, $82.5 million. Huge deal for the Chargers.
Oh no, that's a fantastic deal for J.C. Jackson, and the fact that the Chargers pick up a stud of a defensive back, so something that they desperately needed. So, is he worth that much money? Well, the Chargers think so. So I think that's good enough. That's good enough, and sure. He's definitely going to help them in the future and for the next season coming up.
Kirk Cousins re-signed with the Vikings, 1 year, $35 million. Big deal there. One of the other big deals that happened today was Christian Kirk left the Cardinals and went to the Jaguars. Jaguars have been just an absolute mess of an organization recently, but their new regime has made a ton of deals today. Christian Kirk gets 4 years, $72 million. And a chance to make it $84 million with incentives. So massive deal for Christian Kirk, who has been pretty good in Arizona, but I didn't see this kind of money coming his way.
I guess the Jags are thinking to themselves, we're going to have to overpay for people to come to our team because we're not good. We're not good at all. We are, quote unquote, horrible. So to get people to come over, they're going to have to pay a little bit more than the premium to make sure that these players play on their team.
Yeah. Another receiver signed there today. Zay Jones left the Raiders. 3 years, $30 million. They also signed some linemen there. Brendan Scherf, that was a huge deal, leaving Washington, going there. Foley, Fodukasi, and Foley Olaquan, 3 years, $45 million for both those guys. You're right. The Jags are having to overpay, but good to see Trent Baalke, the GM there, making a ton of deals. I think Doug Peterson is going to make a world of difference there. I thought he did an amazing job in Philly before the end came, won them a Super Bowl title, and Trevor Lawrence, they're building around him. I think they're overpaying for sure, but I think they needed to do some big moves, splash moves to try to become relevant.
Well, yeah, like they definitely needed to make big moves because like all you had to do is look at last season. Not good. Not good. They were not good. And if you want to make a move, if you want to be relevant in the NFL, well, you got to make moves. And regardless if you have to overpay, you still have to make moves if you want like a winning franchise. And then winning garners other players to want to play for your franchise. So, but first things first. Got to win first, and if you don't win, then you run the risk of being irrelevant or being in that Detroit Lions cellar of irrelevancy forever.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Miami also made some big moves today. They re-signed their defensive lineman, the edge rusher Emmanuel Ogbah. 4 years, $65 million. There's a bunch more moves they made. I'll talk about in a few minutes. But just looking through this free agent tracker, it's incredible. Devondre Campbell re-upped with the Packers, 5 years, $50 million. Laken Tomlinson went from the Niners to the Jets, 3 years, $40 million. Hassan Reddick went from Carolina to Philly, 3 years, 45. Quandre Diggs re-signed with the Seahawks, 3 years, $40 million. Ryan Jensen re-signed with the Bucks, 3 years, $39 million. Who else? Austin Corbett went from the Rams to the Panthers, 3 years, $30 million. Joe Noteboom re-signed with the Rams, 3 years, $40 million. Alex Kappa addressed the need for the Bengals, went from the Bucks to the Bengals. Their center there, 4 years, $40 million to protect Joe Burrow. Zach Ertz got a big deal with the Cardinals, re-signed there, 3 years, $32 million. Brian Allen, Rams re-signed, 3 years, $24 million. Michael Gallup, 5 years, $62.5 million with the Cowboys. CJ Uzomah left the Bengals, went to the Jets, 3 years, $24 million. Just crazy, man. So many deals today, just on and on and on and on. I could probably talk for the next half an hour to hour about so many deals. Mitchell Trubisky, that was a big deal. Left Buffalo. Obviously started his career with Chicago, went to Buffalo last year to back up Josh Allen, is the number one quarterback now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pretty low salary for the Steelers, 2 years, $14.25 million get that franchise going after the retirement of Ben Roethlisberger. What else? James Conner re-signed, 3 years, $21 million with the Cardinals. Evan Engram left the Giants, went to the Jags, 1 year, $9 million. Teddy Bridgewater left the Broncos, went to the Dolphins. BJ Hill re-signed with the Bengals, 3 years, $30 million. Braxton Berrios re-signed with the Jets, 2 years, $12 million. Just crazy money, man. Crazy money. It's NFL is up to $208 million with their salary cap this year, and a lot of restructuring deals to try to fit those top end guys in and defer that money on and on and on and on. It must be incredible to be a capologist in the NFL and try to figure out how to get these 50 guys into your salary cap. And the money that's being thrown out today has just blown my mind.
It does boggle the mind because you're just like, it's so much money. It's just so much money. But at the same time, it's money that these guys deserve.
Yeah.
They've earned that.
Yeah.
They've earned all of this money. So, like when you see what they do, you see how they put their body on the line. And sometimes, unfortunately, you see some of the injuries that they suffer. Yeah, this is money that they deserve. And it's great to see that the league has been doing so well, and it's never been stronger because of, let's say, the last run of playoff games that we just watched were exceptional.
Amazing,
to say
yeah.
the least.
Incredible. One note I want to make, DeMarcus Lawrence re-signed, defensive end of the Cowboys, 3 years, 40 million, 30 million guaranteed. He's the first defensive end in NFL history to have 7 straight seasons of guaranteed money. It's setting a historic amount. I'm seeing so much guaranteed money too these days. Most of the contracts, the guy's getting about 40 million, 30 million guaranteed. That's unprecedented as well. It's just not something that they've done. Another big thing was that Devonte Adams was franchise tagged the other day, Thursday, and he has said he will not play under the franchise tag no matter what. Wants to renegotiate his contract, and he ended his contract last year, 58 million, 4 years. Once a significant upgrade, was third in yardage last year with 1,553 yards, and fifth in touchdowns with 11. Probably the top 3 receiver in the NFL. I think the Packers got to restructure some money because of that $200 million contract they gave to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I think Devonte Adams is probably going to get somewhere close to 30 million a year now.
Yeah, and he deserves that. And also, too, they bent over backwards to make Rodgers feel good, feel welcome, feel whatever the heck Rodgers needs. And they paid him. So on top of all of that, Rodgers needs Devonte Adams to be successful. They need each other to be successful. So if his top receiver is kind of, I don't know, ticked off at the team, not good. Not good. Because if he's ticked off, that means you're ticking off like Rodgers, who you just put into a good spot.
Crazy.
You put him in a good place.
Yeah.
Really bad if you tick him off now.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a deal that's done.
That would be insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah. So bizarre. Okay. Well, crazy day. I'm sure there'll be many crazy days ahead with the NFL. They'll see all these teams shape up and get together. I want to talk about the UFC. They had a event this past weekend in Vegas, UFC Vegas 50. But I do want to mention, I'm watching the Lakers Raptors game. The score is 19-2 right now for the Raptors, halfway through the first quarter, 19-2. So nice start for our Toronto Raptors.
Great start for our Raptors. A quick question though: is LeBron playing, or is he taking a day off?
No, he's playing actually tonight. Yeah, he was in the starting lineup. I saw. Yeah, so. There he is. Yeah, he's on the court. Him and Russ are on out there right now. Yeah, it's bizarre. 19-2. What a beginning. I did watch some of the earlier action, and Cleveland unfortunately won in overtime against the Clippers. Toronto's started the night 1 game behind Cleveland for that 6th spot, which is highly coveted because you don't have to play those play-in games if you're top 6 and you're slotted in to play the 3 seed. But with Cleveland winning, Toronto looks like they're started off as well as you possibly could.
Yeah. Toronto hopefully can track down Cleveland and get into that 6th spot, but it's going to be hard because, my goodness, is the East. Is there a lot of parity in the East?
Yeah,
it's close. It's close with like all the top 6 teams besides number 1. It's so incredibly close. All the teams,
Yeah.
those teams seem to be almost peaking at the same time, and it is weird to see. But it's going to be a race right down to the finish. Out of all the playoff games from the West to the East, I'm definitely more interested in the East because it just seems that the skill level is very close this year, very close between all the teams.
Yeah, there's just a 3-game difference between second and sixth. So yeah, it's quite the jumble there. Any team could fall or could move up in the standings with a win or two. So yeah, it's tight, and I can't wait to break that down with you. But let's talk about the UFC. We had another great event coming from Vegas. The main event didn't live up to its billing for the second week in a row. We had Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, really disappointing main event last weekend. And this weekend's main event really was quite boring. These guys were just way too cautious with each other. And even though Thiago Santos seemed like he must have known he was going to lose, he still never really pulled the trigger. And yeah, I just left feeling very disappointed.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, wholeheartedly. It was very cautious fight. And I understand why it was a cautious fight, because both men were very cautious of each other because they both knew they had the power to knock each other out.
Yeah.
Sometimes fights like that happen. Sometimes fights like that very much happen where it's just like, okay, I can't throw combos because I don't want to be countered. So I'll pot shot and I'll throw one punch at a time. Right. And it was only when Santos kind of exploded with combos is when he threw combos. And then after that, he went immediately on the defensive. Ankalaev kind of did the same thing. I did notice that Ankalaev definitely controlled the center of the octagon for the majority of that fight.
Yeah.
And also, too, his gas tank, a lot better than Santos's. Santos definitely started to fade in the 4th and 5th round.
Yeah. I haven't been too impressed with Santos since his John Jones fight. I thought he actually beat John Jones a few years ago when he got that title shot. But he's been, lackluster in many performances, and he has so much power. He just doesn't seem to pull the trigger. He was on his back foot almost the entire fight here. And he just, when he lands something, he doesn't follow it up with major combinations and tries to put the pressure on. He just let Magomed really just dictate the pace of this fight.
Yes, he absolutely did. He let him dictate the pace of this fight. And also, too, like I said, he allowed him to stake out his territory, so to speak, in the octagon. So he basically had to skip to his tune because he was always skirting around the edge of the octagon. And I think sometimes when you do that, it seems that the guy that actually controls the center controls the pace of the fight.
Yeah.
And that's what it seemed like with Ankalaev.
So he's lost 4 out of his last 5. His only victory was against Johnny Walker by decision. I'm starting to feel like he should be dropping in the rankings a lot farther. He came in ranked number 5, but he lost to Jones in that fight I talked about, split decision. Then he lost to Glover, who's the champion now, Alexander Rakic, and now Ankalaev. I don't know where he goes from here. What's next for Santos, where he's really just let people down 4 out of his last 5.
Well, I think he's definitely going to drop in the rankings, if not like right out of the top 10, possibly, because as you just mentioned, he's lost 4 out of his last 5. And he's going to have a long ways to go to try to climb up back to contention or threatening for the belt. Right now, he is definitely not in those talks. But Ankalaev, as long as he keeps climbing the ranks, he definitely is in the talk for challenging for the belt.
Yeah. My feelings about Russian athletes right now, Russian people in general, really upset with them for this invasion of Ukraine that's highly wrong, and I'm not a fan of Russians getting any opportunities. So he asked for a title shot. Don't think he deserves it. Don't see that happening anytime soon. Caceres supposed to fight Yuri Prochazka next. Possibly, I've heard Anthony Lionheart-Smith as an opponent for Ankalaev, or maybe Volkan Ozdemir, and Alexander Rakic is up there as well. But I don't think Russians really deserve title shots right now. I would rather see him, be put on the shelf for a while. And if he's fighting anybody, I think it should be Lionheart-Smith.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I think if he does fight anybody, I think Lionheart would be the correct choice. Because I personally, I still think that Ankalaev is still 2 fights away from even challenging if he were to be considered. I don't think he's anywhere close right at this point in time. I still think it's 2 more fights before you can seriously consider him challenging for the belt.
Yeah. Okay, we had the co-main event, Song Yadong against Marlon Moraes. And I feel like Song Yadong at 24 years old is an amazing prospect. I think in that bantamweight division, look out. He's coming. But I think Marlon Moraes is on his way out. He might be out of a UFC contract. He has lost 4 in a row by knockout. 5 of his last 6 has been KO'd really badly in many of these fights. He lost to Song. He lost to Merab Devashvili, Rob Font, and Corey Sanhagen. Henry Cejudo. His only win was against Jose Aldo. And you watch that fight. Anybody that's watching or listening, watch that fight. Jose Aldo won that fight. So he should have really honestly have lost 6 in a row. I think Marlon Moraes, it might be time to hang him up. Might be time to find something else to do as your career.
Yeah, especially when you start seeing a fighter getting knocked out over and over and over again for multiple fights. Not good. Not good. It means that his chin may be gone. He can't just take a punch like he used to. And you're right. There's been some knockouts that Moraes has suffered that have been not good. Not good. Not the good kind of knockout.
No,
but I got to credit Song Yadong. He looked fantastic. He threw a 3-punch combo that finally KO'd Moraes, finishing with a right uppercut. Beautifully thrown. Great punch. Great power by Yadong. That's the one thing I've always been impressed with the young man. He's got great power.
Yeah.
And a fantastic win for Yadong. And I do agree with you. I believe Moraes' time is over. I think he should seriously consider retirement before he actually does damage that is irreversible.
Yeah, it's some bad knockouts, some bad losses. And, most times I'm not asking for guys to retire, but when I'm seeing constant guys getting knocked out in horrifically bad fashion, on and on and on, it starts making me concerned for his well-being and his health. Speaking of getting out of the octagon and being done with their career, Greg Hardy released a statement and said, thank you to the UFC for my opportunity, but it looks like Greg Hardy is finished with the UFC for now at least.
Yeah, we kind of saw the writing on the wall there. The one thing that was his weakness was grappling, and it didn't seem like he was ever going to get better at that. As long as you can take that guy down, you're going to win the fight. And that was his Achilles heel. That's something that he's always known, and he just was never able to address that part of his game. So,
yeah, he got knocked out in his last 3 fights, finished with a 4-5 record in the UFC. He also had 1 no contest. He was disqualified once for an illegal strike and the no contest because he used an inhaler between rounds. He had an NFL career that was derailed, now has a UFC career that is gone. Don't know if he'll go to the regional circuit and try to work his way back up. But as for now, goodbye, Greg Hardy. Welcome to other heavyweights getting an opportunity on the big show. Yeah, let's continue on with this card. I was really looking forward to this featherweight battle between Sadiq Youssef and Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. Caceres came in on a 5-fight winning streak. Youssef is tough as always. And yeah, Youssef ended up ending that 5-fight win streak. His calf kicks were, really, really key and relentless in this one. And I think were the main reason why he carved out a victory.
Yeah, he knew how to approach this fight, which is take away Caceres' movement. And so he kicked his legs and kicked his legs and kicked his legs and kicked his legs out from under him a number of times throughout the course of this fight. And then you could tell definitely going into the second and most certainly the third that his movement was definitely being compromised. Caceres, he was not able to do the same things he was able to do in the first round. Yeah. And that's because Youssef was dedicated to those leg kicks, and they were powerful, they were strong, and they did the job that he needed it to do, which was limit his movement, which ended up giving him the win.
Yeah, and Caceres has such good movement, is so awkward of style that, that's a key for him to win fights. And yeah, he definitely chopped that tree down over and over and over and was able to pull out the win. I see that Youssef called out Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell. I love this fight. Be great if they make that happen.
I love the call out. The call out was great because I'm like, oh, that's intriguing. I like that. I like the matchup. I like the call out. I hope that the matchmakers make that happen because I think that's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. I did forget to mention that Song Yadong called out Dominic Cruz. He belongs to Team Alpha Male, Uriah Faber's camp, and they've had a really long-running feud with Dominic Cruz, and good to see him call out him. I don't know if Dominic Cruz is quite there. I think he wants to fight up, not down, where Song is at this moment. But yeah, good on him to make that call out.
Yeah, no, that was a great call out. I loved it. That's a fight that could possibly happen when Song Yadong is able to crack the top 10. Yeah, I think he still has a ways to climb before he can actually get that fight.
I've heard a couple of things this weekend. Maybe Ricky Simone, Pedro Munoz, or Merab Devashvili for Song Yadong. We'll see what gets put together. If Youssef doesn't get what he wants with Bryce Mitchell, I've heard rumors of Hakeem Dawodu, the Canadian, Shane Burgos, and Mobsar Evloev. And then possibly I heard Caceres might be up against Cub Swanson his next bout. So fights to look forward to. I think that would be really fun. Yeah. Love watching Cub fights.
Yeah, because I love watching Cub fight too. That would be intriguing. Actually, I actually hope that they make that fight. Cub Swanson Caceres fight. I really like that fight. So hopefully they make that one.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I really hope so too. Okay, we had a light heavyweight battle here. Two really great fighters, but Khalil Roundtree really was one of the shining stars on this card. And I just want you to give me one word to describe Khalil Roundtree. What would be the word you would come to mind?
Explosive. Okay. Nuclear bomb. Nuclear. Actually, nuclear. That's it. Nuclear. Because what he did in the second round was go absolutely nuclear. I have never... It's very rare to see a fighter just go, that's it, I've detonated. And he detonated in violence. Yeah. Extreme, unequivocal violence. It was terrifying to see. I was actually quite scared. I thought, Oh my goodness, Carl Roberson, your life is in danger. You're literally, your life is in danger right now. It was, wow. I was super impressed. What Roundtree did in this fight is what I wanted to see in the Santos Ankalaev fight.
Yeah, me too.
That's
yeah.
what Roundtree did in this fight,
Exactly.
where he just decided, you know what, this fight's over, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
Awesome win.
The two words
Great
that came, I actually thought of two words with Roundtree. I thought of terrifying and violent. Those were the two words that jumped out at me. But after the fight, he had a great exchange with Paul Felder, and then post fight, he sat down and talked to the reporters. And now my word for Khalil Roundtree is emotional. Emotional is the word for Khalil Roundtree now. So that was right from the heart. That was an emotional moment. I have rarely seen tears in your eyes when anything not involving food happens, but I think you know that made me emotional. I think tears were probably in your eyes hearing him be so emotional about about his journey, where he's come from and where he is now.
He gained a fan once he let out his true feelings there. He gained me as a fan. I became a real fan of Khalil Roundtree after he said something like that. It was powerful. It was from the heart, and it was meaningful. It was impactful. This is a man that wants to make a difference, not just with his fighting, not just with his fans or anything else. He wants to make a real difference for people that are suffering from depression.
Yeah.
And because he already went through it. And also too, to say that there are things that a person can glam onto as a life preserver, as a lifeboat. These are the things that people need to find for themselves so that they can find purpose in their life. And Khalil Roundtree was one of those lucky few that found that purpose. And now he's able to express that and share that with others that need to find purpose in their life. And I couldn't be happier about the message that he had, because it's so powerful. Such a powerful message.
Amazing. Yeah, I was very impressed. And I want to share a little bit of his commentary with the media afterwards as well. More emotions poured out, and he had a really great message to share. And I enjoyed it too. This was after in the post-fight press conference, him being asked a question about what he wants people to see when they see him.
Hey, hello.
Alex, what's up?
I just have one question for you, man. For the next Khalil that's maybe sitting on his couch right now, a little bit overweight, what's your message to him?
It might sound a bit cliche, or we've heard this before, but like, your life matters. Your life matters. You can be special. You can be strong. You can be seen. You can be heard. Life is beautiful. If you make it that way, it doesn't have to be how everybody else makes it seem. Stick around. Stick around another day. I would have a lot of A lot of things like that to say, man.
Yeah, amazing. I was really touched by him. Look more into his story. He lost his father at a young age. He was murdered, and he had a tough go of it, as many guys in the sport do. It's crazy how low he was to the heights that he's been able to reach, and I'm glad that he wants to get his message out there before he is the champ. He reiterated something that I've been saying for a really long time, is that these guys are human beings with real lives, that, real struggles, and, we should know more about their life story. And one thing that he said meant a lot to me, is that he said, hey, nobody's talking to Carl Robertson tonight. They don't want to talk to you after you lose. And he said, luckily I won tonight so I could spread this story. But, I think, if a guy loses and he wants to talk and he wants to spread his word and tell you about his life story, I think we should have these guys have that option to come in and talk to the guys post fight in the octagon and after. And I think a lot of that gets lost. As soon as a guy loses, he's just shoved aside, and nobody wants to talk to him. Nobody wants to know more about him. And we hear Khalil, he could have easily been on the wrong side of that. We would have heard his story tonight. And, all these fans that are his now might not be there today.
Yeah, absolutely. He makes a very valid point that, like, even though in a loss, that doesn't mean that, that fighter that lost that battle for that particular night has lost in life.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what he's also trying to say. It's like, you may lose today. Hell, you may lose tomorrow, but you're not always going to continue to lose. There will be times when you win. That means also reflects back to, it may be dark now, but there's always going to be light at the end of that tunnel. Always.
Yeah.
You may not be able to see it, but it is there, and that light is hope.
Yeah.
You can never forget that. There's always hope.
Yeah,
Always
I thought it was great. It was a great message, and yeah, I became a huge fan of his. Already really, respected him and liked him, but he's moved up many notches in the world, and I'm a big champion for Khalil Roundtree now, and only want the best for him going forward. And I think he will make an impact on a lot of young guys' lives that aren't really sure, where life's taking them. But if they can get a focus and, get a passion, I think better days are ahead.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think, because all you got to do is look at that guy and you just think to yourself, he's basically violence manifested into a human form, but he's actually a heck of a lot more than just that.
Yeah.
And he just proved that with his comments after the fight. And then also too, that just means that, guess what? All the fighters are more than what they seem to be as they entertain us with the fights. They all have their own stories. And I hope that more of their stories are being shared with us, and we get the opportunity to learn more about these guys as we go through.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the fight right before that one. A lightweight battle between Terence T-Rex Mckinney and Drew Dober. T-Rex was coming in short notice. I think he got about 10 days notice for this one. He fought Fares Zayam February 26th, so only a couple weeks back, and was brought in as a late replacement. He tried to get Drew Dober out of there quick, swarmed him, got Dober in trouble, but Dober proved how tough he is and turned it around and got the knockout at 3:17 of the first round. This was a hell of a comeback for Dober. and really, really fun fight to watch.
It was a super fun fight to watch because as I'm watching the fight, I'm like, there is no way that Dober wins this fight. Like Mckinney was hitting him with everything and the kitchen sink. I think there was a kitchen sink thrown in the octagon. He hit him with that too as well. But at the end of the day, Dober showed extreme resilience and toughness and endurance to the point that I thought it was a little bit superhuman. You look at Mckinney and you think to yourself, this guy doesn't look that powerful. No, he's got extreme power with everything he throws. And Dober definitely backed that up with what he said post-fight, which was, yeah, that guy hits hard. He hits really, really, really hard. So I give Dober all the credit in the world because he just showed that's what a UFC vet can do. That's what an extremely tough UFC vet can do. He weathered the storm, hit Mckinney finally with the left knee that dropped him, ground and pound finish. Excellent win by Drew Dober. Excellent. And actually, I would love to see them run this fight back with Mckinney with a full fight camp. I'd love to see it again.
Me too. Yeah, good call. Yeah. Did you catch who he called out after this one though?
Oh, I know I caught it, but I can't remember. I cannot remember who he called out.
Out Bobby King Green. So
yes,
that would be awesome. That would be phenomenal. And we remember what Bobby said. He doesn't want any more headline fights. Wants to fight early on cards so he can get out and party. So let's make this happen. I love it when a guy like Dober has a great comeback like this, makes a call out and gets what he wants. Let's do it. That would be explosive, fun, and awesome to watch.
Three great call-outs. And I love the fact that Drew Dober called out Bobby Green because I know what Bobby Green is thinking. Deal. Done. He probably got right on the phone to the matchmakers as soon as Dober said it. Do it. Let's do it. I think that's going to happen, man. And as far as Bobby Green's concerned, probably at the beginning of the next UFC. So he can be the first fight on the main card.
I kept looking in the bottom of the screen to see Twitter coming up. You got it. I'm signed on the dotted line. I've already called them, called the matchmakers. Let's do it. I kept looking. I didn't see it, but I think Bobby Green was probably watching and, like you say, making that call immediately. He'll take on anybody, anytime, anywhere, and that will be fun. The first fight of the main card was a hell of a battle between Alex Pereira and Bruno Silva. Pereira, longtime kickboxer, really came in highly touted and really showed how tough he is, how amazing his kickboxing skills are, and got a really phenomenal decision win over Bruno Silva.
Yeah, Pereira definitely he used his kickboxing skills to obviously to his benefit. Kept Silva at the end of his punches and kicks, used his length to his advantage. But at the same time, I do got to give Silva some credit. He was a dog in there. He did his best. He took the strikes to get in close. He got in some hits where he could. Definitely, though, in that third round where Pereira was really putting it on him, I was again impressed with Silva's toughness to continue fighting and make it through that round three, because a lot of other fighters wouldn't have made it that far. They would not have made it through round three. They would have been defeated. So, but great win by Pereira against a very tough opponent in Silva.
Yeah, it was two very tough guys. He called out Jared Cannonier. Don't really see that happening right away, but might get a winner between Kelvin Gastelum and Mazardine Imavov, or the winner between Uriah Hall and Andre Muniz. Might be able to set that together as a great next fight for them. Okay, let's talk about the prelims real brief. We'll blast through it, but I want to talk about the featured prelim between Matthew Semi, the Jedi, Semmelsberger, and AJ Fletcher. AJ came in part of Dustin Poirier's camp and came in highly touted, making his UFC debut. But Semmelsberger, after not that great of a first round, really had a phenomenal last 2 rounds and took the decision win. 2 tough guys, and really impressed with Fletcher's debut, but Semi the Jedi getting a huge win in this one. Oh, you're frozen. I wonder how long.
Yeah, like you just said.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you.
go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, I agree with you. From the first round, Fletcher dominated Semmelsberger in the grappling aspect, kept him on the ground, had top position, and it looked not good for Semmelsberger. But Semmelsberger battled back hard for the second and third rounds, was able to reverse position, and if Fletcher got position on him, you could tell that Semmelsberger, first off, this was a very, very close fight.
Yep.
Amazingly close fight. But Semmelsberger seemed to me like he wanted it more. He wanted it more, especially in that third round where he was pushing harder than Fletcher. Fletcher will definitely learn from this, but this was a very, very close fight against 2 very, very strong, skilled individuals. But definitely, I thought that Semmelsberger won this fight from the third round, because it just seemed like he was pushing harder and wanted it more.
Yeah, he was definitely the best fighter, and in my opinion, those last 2 rounds, and especially the third round, he was awesome. And it said, okay, boy, I'm glad you're in here, but I'm a veteran. I'm gonna give you your first L, and you'll have to come back a little stronger next time. So that was good. I was impressed. Okay. I mentioned Son Yudong and Khalil Roundtree both got 50K, I think. We had 2 more 50K bonuses handed out, and those were on the early prelims, early. The very first fight of the night, Azamat Mirzanikov against Stefan Nkuchwi. And man, look up this Azamat flying knee that got the KO. Holy cow, he hit him with the flying knee and then just shoved him down to the ground and did a walk away. Yeah, you're done. And Cody Brundage beat Dacha Lungang Bula, got him a really amazing submission, and took another 50K there. I was impressed with the Leech. Great submission win by Damon Jackson. Anything else that you want to mention on the prelims, early prelims or prelims?
Prelims, I just wanted to mention that Basharat remains undefeated against his opponent, Trevin Jones.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very good fight, skilled fight. Jones definitely had the strength advantage in that, but I loved Basharat's movement and his elusiveness. Trevin Jones had a very hard time trying to find the target. There was times where he did, but a lot of the times, Basharat's movement and his ability just to subtly shift out of the way of strikes definitely was frustrating Jones, I thought. Great win by Basharat against a very, very, very tough opponent, Trevin Jones.
Yeah, I just love that guy's movement. Love the confidence that he shows. Like you said, he wasn't overpowering Jones ever, because Jones, definitely has the power advantage, but movement and straight, accurate shots really took it to him. And is a big contender in this bantamweight division, undefeated guy. I'm very impressed with his fighting style and the way how elusive he is to hit.
Yeah, and I'm also impressed by the fact that he doesn't use wasted movement or he doesn't waste any energy. He is super relaxed in there in that octagon, and he only springs into action when he's actually doing something, which is striking. So I look forward to seeing more of his fights and to see just how far he'll climb. So I think he's a very, very, very good fighter.
Okay, yeah, let's put this UFC Vegas 50 to bed, and let's just briefly touch on next week's card. This coming Saturday, we're back in London, England. First time in 3 years they've had a card there. The last card that they had in England had Jorge Masvidal against Darren Till 3 years ago, so it's been a while. There will be a lot of UK fighters on this card, as well as some of the guys from overseas. It's an early start. We've got 10 a.m. the prelim start and 1 p.m. Pacific time. We've got the main card, so be aware. Early card for this one. We've got Alexander Drago Volkov against Tom Aspinall. I'm looking forward to this heavyweight banger. Should be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this because of just the way that these guys attack. Aspinall's got great movement and fantastic hands, great boxing skills, super fast hands. Yeah. And Volkov's Volkov. He's got. I think he'll be the bigger man in there. He's got some tree trunk legs. Yeah. So Aspinall's gonna have to look out for his kicks. But my goodness, this is going to be one heck of a fight. I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Me too, big time. It's going to be awesome. I'm really happy they put these guys together. I think it'll be fireworks. Also, the co-main event should be great. Dan Hooker's moving down to the 145 featherweight division. First time in, I think, 6 years. I think he last fought there in 2016. He's facing a really tough guy in Arnold Allen, who I think is on a 11 fight win streak. And yeah, this shapes up to be a great featherweight matchup.
Could be a very good matchup. I hope it is. I hope that Dan Hooker hasn't depleted himself so much that he's taken away something from himself when he gets into that octagon. Because as you said, he hasn't been at that weight division for a very long time. So I hope he hasn't underestimated that weight cut. But as long as he comes in there like strong and fresh, I think this could be a very good fight.
Yeah. Paddy Pimblett on the card, one of these newcomers that got a lot of press and fun guy, got a good personality. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him fight too as well. I'm hoping to see some improvements in his game because if I remember correctly from his last fight, he had a tendency to have his chin up. So hopefully he keeps that thing tucked in a little bit more for this particular fight. I see big things for Paddy Pimblett as long as I see some improvement there in his stand-up.
And we have a Gunnar Nelson sighting. Seems like forever since I've seen Gunnar Nelson. Yeah, he's away from Iceland. He's going to the UK, and he'll be in the octagon this coming Saturday. I'm excited to see Gunnar. Always love to see the Icelander.
Yes, we have not seen him for quite some time, and so I'm super happy to finally see him grace the octagon once again. And he's going to be in tough against a very tough opponent in Takashi Sato. And I'm hoping to see a couple maybe new wrinkles to Gunnar's game. Let's see what he's got because we have not seen him for quite some time. So I'm excited to see the Icelander come back to the octagon.
Yeah, it's been September 28th, 2019. He had a fight, lost a decision to Gilbert Burns. So it has been a while since we've seen Gunnar. Turning to the prelims, love Paul Craig, one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's fighting Nikita Krylov. Hell of a battle there. We see Mr. Finland, Makwan Amirkhani facing Mike Grundy. We've got more Russian fighters on the card than I want to see, but we've got a bunch. I love this Jack Shore guy, undefeated. He's fighting Timur Valuev. That'll be another banger at bantamweight. Anything else standing out to you big time on this one?
No, man. For me, it's definitely the Krylov Craig fight. Like that's going to be one heck of a fight because as far as Krylov should be concerned, don't go to the ground with that guy. Don't do that, or else you're going to get hurt. You might have a limb broken. Like that's something that guy terrifies me on the ground. If I'm Krylov, keep it on my feet. If I ever go down, get up off the ground like it's on freaking fire. Get up off that ground, buddy, or else you're going to lose a limb. Seriously.
Good advice.
I don't want like I lose a limb. I don't want to lose a limb.
Good advice, Jason. Good advice. Yeah, you're right. Paul Craig is scary dude when it comes to his grappling and his submission game. Yeah, he might. We might see him tear off a limb one of these days for sure. Yeah, it's coming.
Oh yeah, man. Like
coming.
I remember what he did to Jamal Hill. We all remember what he did to Jamal Hill. He turned that thing into like it was like
flopping noodle.
Noodle. It was a wet noodle. Flapping all over the place. Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's UFC for now. Let's turn to the NBA to finish off the podcast. We've had a lot of amazing action in the NBA, and it's really getting down to the nitty gritty. We're only a few weeks away from seeing it get into the playoffs. A lot of things shaping up. As we mentioned off the early part of this podcast, we've got in the Eastern Conference only a 3-game difference between second and sixth. Raptors are sitting in seventh, trying to catch that sixth position. It's halftime right now, and Toronto's up 58-40 on the Lakers. I just kept looking over, and it was getting just uglier and uglier. It was 19-2, 21-2, 24-2. Then the Lakers chipped back, but they're still down by 18 at halftime here. Be great to see the Raptors get another victory and still be 1 game behind the Cavs. Cavs got a win tonight, but they're only 4-6 in their last 10, and the broken finger of Jared Allen has really hurt the Cavaliers. And the Raptors have had some massive wins lately. They beat Phoenix, they beat Denver. They're playing really great. They've won 3 in a row, and this Nick Nurse, sort of the way he's manipulating the system with all 6'7" and 6'9" guys, it's given a lot of teams trouble, and they are fun to watch.
They're fun to watch. It's like, Nick Nurse is, let's be honest, it's a mad scientist in there. He's just like, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this and a dash of that, and let's see what happens. Oh man, it's getting hard for them to deal with that. I like that, so I'm just gonna keep tinkering with what I got going on here. No. I just love the fact that like he's not afraid to experiment, test, figure out some stuff. And also too, I love what he's infused into the Raptors organization, which was scrappiness, which is the fact that it's like the never say die attitude. No. They are in those, they're there to throw down with you, and they're not going away anytime soon. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the Raptors can do going into the playoffs and for the future. Because what the Raptors are doing right now is the complete opposite of what the Lakers are doing, which is like that. It's just not good. It's not good in Laker Town right now. The only thing that's good in Laker Town is the fact that LeBron is dropping 50 points every now and again to give them hope.
Yeah, LeBron had 50 in 2 out of the last 3 games. A week ago, he put up 56 against the Warriors. He put up 50 last night over the Wizards, and those are the only 2 games that they've won since the All-Star break. So yeah, he scores 50 and they win. If he doesn't, they lose. So yeah, it's Superman at 37 years old trying to will this team into a play-in game, and yeah, they're losing again tonight. So not looking too great, but LeBron became the first player ever to have 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists, and over 10,000 points. He's got 35,000 and counting points. First guy to ever do that. The only other two guys that have over 10,000 points and 10,000 rebounds, the closest guys to the assists mark are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had 5,660, and Kevin Garnett, 5,445. So LeBron's just setting new standards constantly. It's just amazing. He's third overall in points, and he will pass Karl Malone this month probably. Becomes second overall. He's just passing legend after legend after legend, week after week. At 37, looking as good as ever. He's I think did I hear that he's leading the league in scoring right now, or second maybe? Just shocking us time and again, and still looking amazing at 37 years old.
Yes, he is. It's unfortunate for the Lakers that he just can't carry the team like he could when in his youth. But at the same time, you shouldn't expect a 37-year-old man to do everything for your team. Like, come on, Lakers. What are you doing? Like, they're just not very good. LeBron knows it. And so, you know what? I think he's at the point now where he's like, I just got to entertain the fans. Got to give them something to watch. Yeah. Like, exactly I want to say, I think it was for the 56-point shootout there that he put up, that he actually, I want to say it was the quarterback for the Rams was in the audience, and he basically looked at him and said, because he was right beside his wife, and he just said, hey, I know that you were here, so I had to put on a show for you. Yeah.
Nice. He's really incredible. Just mind blowing, the things that he can still do, and things that he takes in. And what's going on here? Karl Anthony Towns makes history tonight. We'll have to see what that is. A huge game. 149-139. T-Wolves over the Spurs. Man, it's incredible some of the scores we're seeing these days. One of the games I was really looking forward to tonight was the Nuggets and the Sixers, the two top MVP candidates battling each other under the boards, getting a chance to go head to head. Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. Is this the one that you recorded that you're watching a bit later?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And so I'm sorry, listeners, but he can't ruin it for me. I'm going to watch this because I want to see what the two best centers in the league look like going against each other, going head to head. Yeah. I can't wait to watch this game.
Yeah, this is a fun one to watch. I did see the end, and I won't ruin it. I won't ruin it for our esteemed guest here, because he's taped it, he's watching it, and it's going to be fun. But yeah, what a battle tonight. Both put up great numbers, and it goes down right to the end. So a lot of fun. A lot of good games tonight. Good to see the Warriors back up, looking very strong over the Wizards. Got a 17-point lead here. And then what else? Oh yeah, as I mentioned, the Raptors and Lakers up 18 at half. And then the other good game that's on currently too is the Bucks and Jazz. And Jazz have a 3-point lead with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So that's a game that I plan to get at once we're done here. And let's talk a little bit more about the standings. Let's talk about Brooklyn. There was a big, there was some troubles yesterday in Brooklyn. Not with Kevin Durant. He was able to put up another 50 points, his second with the Nets this season. But Kyrie Irving came into the arena to lots of fanfare. Everybody cheered him on, and he sat courtside. But he did a big no-no, and he entered the locker room at halftime. And the Nets today heard they're getting fined $50,000 for that move. The mayor of New York had to fire 1,000 workers for not getting vaccinated in New York in February, when they made it a vaccine mandate, and you couldn't be a city worker working at any facilities without being vaccinated. And Kyrie expects him to change the rule. Kevin Durant took to the podium and said he wants them to change the rule, but 1,000 workers were so strong in their belief system that they were willing to lose their jobs over this. And Kyrie Irving continues to not be able to play home games, but he tried to make a big statement by being there and entering the locker room and hanging around, but they said, no, sorry, $50,000 fine to the Nets. And yeah, this became a big story over the weekend.
It did. And I do remember what some of the analysts were talking about, because then KD is trying to take up for his friend, saying, like, you know, it seems like it's a vendetta, like he's got something against Kyrie. Yeah, I'm going to take the same stance as the analysts, which is, I don't think he cares about Kyrie. I think what he does care about is about the New York people at large.
Yeah.
I don't think he's looking at one person and saying, well, I'm going to have to put him in this, but nah, man, he doesn't care. We're dealing with a pandemic. And what that means is that he has to actually care about every New Yorker in the city, in the state, you know, like everybody. Yeah. So he cares about everybody. He does not care about one lone basketball player that does not want to get vaccinated. If you don't want to get on board, that's great. That's your right. That's your choice. But here's the result of you not getting on board. You can't play here. That's it. And if you're willing to do all that, cool, awesome. I have no idea when you will be able to pay back here, but for now, you cannot. And for all those workers that stuck to their guns, I'm sure they have their reasons of why they want to do that. Hey, everybody has their choice that they get to make when it comes to pandemic. Whatever that choice is, that's the choice you live with.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah, that's yeah. Good statement, and I wholeheartedly agree. Let's turn to the West. Big story came out of the weekend. Finally, the Splash brother Klay Thompson had a breakout game, 38 points in a win over the Bucks. Looked phenomenal doing so. Lot of fun to watch when Klay's on. Steph took a back seat and only scored 8, but Klay was on fire with 38 points in a big win over Milwaukee.
That's great to see. It's great to see that the man is coming back, that he's you know what? Even with the fact that, yeah, he scored his 38 points, it's just great to see him back on the court, being able to play the game that he loves. And that's what's the most important thing. And I hope that, you know, like, he continues to improve. He continues to get back his Hall of Fame form, so to speak, because they're going to need it, especially when Draymond comes back, because if there's one thing that's been abundantly clear, they miss Draymond Green. They miss their quarterback for the defensive side of the court. So once that guy comes back, once the three of them reunite and activate their powers together, oh, it's going to be something great to see. But again, awesome. I love the fact that Klay's back on target, and he's hopefully has a lot more games ahead, just like that one.
I've got good news. Draymond is playing tonight. First game back. He's played 16 minutes so far. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, limited minutes, but Draymond is back working himself into shape. He was targeting tonight's game as his comeback game, and he's doing well. They're up by 27, and yeah, great to see Draymond is back. He is back. Did you hear me? Draymond is back.
Okay, all right, I heard that part. So yes, Draymond is back, and that's awesome to see. it's something that all the Warriors fans have been waiting for forever for him to come back. And so that is fantastic news. That is great news. It's great news for the Warriors fans, great news for the organization, and it's horrendous news for the rest of the NBA. Awesome.
Steph Curry's birthday today, turns 34. Guess how many points he has after 3?
Ooh.
See there? Can you hear me? Steph Curry currently sits with 34 points on his 34th birthday. Might just leave it there and not even play the fourth quarter. 34 points on his 34th birthday. Oh man, we're starting to really lose it now, aren't we? We're glitching out all the time now. Damn. I was hoping we'd finish strong.
Oh man, we were really close, really close. Yeah. So I heard that it's Steph's birthday. That's awesome, because you know what that means? He shares the same month of birthday as me. Nice. So that's why he's such a good person. That's why he's such a good guy. I know that. Now you know that. Okay. And also too, yeah. Hopefully he can match his. You said he's turning 34, so hopefully he can score 34 points.
He's got 34, right? Currently bang on right now. So yeah, might as well just sit him down, Steve Kerr, leave it at that. Perfect symmetry. 34 points on his 34th birthday.
Yeah, that's perfect. Unless Steve wants to keep him in and then Steph detonates for another 20. I don't know. I guess it's either or, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I did want to mention Kevin Garnett's retirement jersey ceremony. He becomes the 24th player to have his jersey retired by the Celtics organization. The great thing about this was they reunited of the team, and Ray Allen was forgiven for his horrific move of wanting to go somewhere else. And Kevin Garnett has finally changed his tune and welcomed Ray back in the family, and they mended some fences. And great to see the celebration for Kevin Garnett, one of the greatest of all time. And good to see these guys finally, putting the past in the past.
So guess what, Darren? This is what I'll say to that. Anything is possible.
Exactly.
Anything is possible, man.
I love it.
I didn't think that was going to happen, but I'm super glad to hear that he was able to bury the hatchet and they're able to move on with their friendship, because it is a friendship. It's a hard thing to win a championship, and those three did it together in Boston. That's something that's indelible. You can't change that. And that's something that, you know what, they can always rally around, because they were great teammates and they're great human beings. And I'm glad that Garnett was able to put the past in the past and move on with his future.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to see at the All-Star game festivities, they brought in the top 75 players, and Garnett was just not having any of Ray Allen's appearance. And it was like, oh man, they're still having this so many years later, but only another month later, he finally decides to bury the hatchet and move on. And really good to see, because that was a phenomenal team, a great coming together. That was one of the first sort of super teams where three guys came from afar and all joined together and won a title. It set up a lot of the things that we've seen previous.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was great. Like, they had a great run. And when they put that team together, when they constructed it, is one of the first times. Well, it wasn't one of the first times, but one of the more recent times where they put together a big three, and a big three that worked. Yeah. And it worked very, very, very well. So I applaud Garnett for putting the past in the past and reuniting with his friend Ray Allen and burying the hatchet.
Yeah. And Greg Popovich came the all-time winningest coach in the regular season this past weekend. And 6 out of the top 7 teams currently in the NBA with the record. 6 out of the top 7 have guys that have ties to the Spurs organization. So his legacy will remain on and on and on. There is talk that this might be his last year. He might hang it up now that he is the all-time winningest coach, and they're in a rebuilding phase now in San Antonio. And the front runner to replace him is Quinn Snyder, who coaches the Utah Jazz currently, but longtime friend of Pop and part of the Spurs organization. But yeah, I was kind of surprised a little bit to hear that this might be it for him.
Well, you know what? Popovich has been a coach for a long time. And let's be honest here. He's not literally getting any younger. That's a lot of white hair on that man's head. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. So you got to give it to him. He's been one of the best coaches for such a long time, and he's super deserving of being the winningest coach ever in NBA history. So if it is his last hurrah, happy trails to Greg Popovich. He's earned it.
Yeah, he has. I mentioned the Lakers a couple times tonight. I do want to mention that there's an amazing documentary type show right now called Winning Time. It's on Crave. You can probably find it on many streaming platforms. It's following the Lakers showtime and putting together this dynasty that they had, and really elevating them to be one of the elite franchises. A lot of fun to watch. I recommend it to everybody. Take a look at it. Phenomenal performances.
Oh yeah. That sounds like fantastic viewing. I'm definitely going to give it a gander at some point in time here.
Yeah, check it out. We started off the show talking about Tom Brady returning. I want to finish it off talking about him returning as well. Do you know that there are 6 quarterbacks currently active in the NFL that have won Super Bowl titles, and Tom Brady has won more than all of them combined? He is going for number 8. There are 6 quarterbacks that have only won 1 each, and Tom Brady's won more than all of them. So he's coming back. I feel for you, but it makes me laugh. I can't believe that he's decided to just come back and throw the dagger into more hearts of guys that he's been able to, and franchises that he's been able to give heartbreak to so much over the years.
So yeah, thanks for bringing that up again. That's awesome. Thanks for allowing me to now think about that before I go to bed. And so now this is what you've done to me. This is actually what's going to happen. I'm going to go to sleep, and then I'm going to have a nightmare. Brady, no, Brady, and I'll be waking up screaming. I'll be, no! And I'll be in a cold sweat. I'm like, my Falcons, they lost again. They were up by 40. Yeah, that's what you've done. So thank you.
Providing nightmares for football fans all across the world. Yeah, way to go, Tom. Way to go. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. No, he's the man. He's so cool. Such a great human being. Great guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry for giving you nightmares, but I hope you have a bit of a restful sleep. And we will see you sometime tomorrow morning, I'm sure. See you tomorrow morning, buddy. Thanks for this. It was fun as always. I sure hope we can stop these technical glitches one of these days soon.
Yes, hopefully that will happen.
Yeah,
that will happen. We are going to figure that out. You're definitely going to figure that out, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. So patience is key. Patience.
Have a great week ahead. It's birthday week. It's a short week for you. So I'm sure you're looking forward to the weekend. Hope it flies by. And thanks again, man. Always appreciate this. It's a lot of fun. Cheers, man. Good Good night. Have a great one. Enjoy the basketball game.
Oh, thank you very
Have-
much. I'm
have
definitely
fun
going to
watching
enjoy
that
my
Denver Philly
short
game.
week.
Have fun
Oh,
watching
thank you
that Denver
very
Philly
much.
game. Cheers.
Enjoy your evening as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you too, man.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Cheers
Jason.
for now.
Cheers.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye. Oh man. Jeez, technical difficulties again. Like gotta figure this out. I think maybe this might be one of the last podcasts we do separate. We might just have to do it together. Or get a better feed somehow. Man, yeah. I'm sorry about that, people. Out of our control. Frustration for him and I, and really challenging and difficult. I really wish we didn't have these because we have so much more fun when we can just talk to each other and play off each other. But so often I'm asking him a question and he's not even catching it all. So anyway, thanks for sticking in. If you're still around, I appreciate your support as always. And speaking of support, I want to thank our partners and sponsors. I want to show them real quick. We've got phenomenal people that support our podcast, and I don't see it there. Another technical difficulty. Anchor FM, easiest place to make a podcast. Go there if you want to do what Jason and I did without technical problems. I want to thank Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. The V350 stick is a must-have for any hockey player in your friends and family. Pampas and Possibilities, they design West Coast curated pretty things that you can spruce up your home with. Just check them out on our website or their social media. And of course, Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. And you can find products on our website at discounted rates, as always. As I said, thanks a lot. Appreciate your support as always. Thanks for listening in and watching, and we'll see you again soon. Check out our website. Please do. CompleteMediaNetwork.com, CompleteSportsMedia.com. Love you. Bye for now.